Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Stock Market Update video, a weekend edition where we talk about the most likely scenario, what I think price will be heading into next week for the overall market, as well as the 7 mega cap stocks, Meta, Tesla, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Apple, and Nvidia. So let's take a look at the rate cut decision first. So we're getting a rate cut, our first rate cut next Wednesday. And currently we're pricing 50-50 in terms of a 25 basis point cut or a 50 basis point cut. What this means is that there's going to be half of the market participants that's going to be wrong. And that means a lot of volatility is going to come because half of you guys are going to have to reposition yourselves. Either, if we get a 50 cut, some people might think, okay, we might be more bullish. So they got to reposition themselves. And some people might think that if we get a 50-point cut, it means that the economy is weaker and maybe they'll reposition themselves more bearish. So that means there's going to be a lot of movements because of that when you reposition. So we keep an eye watch on that and see if Monday or Tuesday gives us more clues where this probability shifts overall before Wednesday, the actual decision comes in. And funny enough, fear and greed index, we're sitting right in the middle as well, just at neutral. So we'll have to see where that market rate cut leads us. And it makes sense that this week we bounced. You can see that we have been the most bearish overall this week compared to every other week. Look how bullish we have been on the other weeks. And this week we're 31% bearish, which makes sense. So that the market bounced because market just likes to do things the opposite of what the majority of the participants are doing. You can see on these weeks where it was like super bullish and the market just kind of tanked. And then once everybody goes bearish, right? And then this week, we had just skyrocketed back up. And so now that's the fundamentals. And let's talk about the technicals. So technical wise, I'm still looking at this weekly equilibrium. So I've been talking about this one for a while. You guys know I'm talking this tightening range, right? Big move up, big move down, big move up, big move down, big move up. This is what an equilibrium is. Each move is within the prior move. And it never exceeds the prior highs or the prior lows, and just keep on tightening up until it decides to break out of that range. We will get a lot more volume when it does. So currently we are kind of at the high of that range. You can see resistance, resistance, resistance. And this is the support. Support, although we did break down this slightly. These are more visual guides, not definite support and resistance. And you can see this low, right, is higher than this low. And then this low is higher than this low. That's what tightening range is, right? These highs are lower than prior highs. So it just gets tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. If we do pull back here as a bull, ideally what you want to see, it's a bull flag. So a bull flag is just a shallow pullback, usually above 0.382. So if you're roughly looking at a pullback to close to this 466 zone, that would be the best case scenario. And then you set that daily higher low and head higher and break out of this tiny range bull. That'll be the best case scenario for bulls, in my opinion. After just a slight rejection here, and then bull flag, and then head higher, break out of this EQ in the bull side. I mean, obviously, best case scenario would just to rip through it, just head higher. But I don't think that's going to happen. So we'll see about that because of the FOMC meeting on Wednesday. That's going to be the catalyst that really decides which direction we really break, in my opinion. And if we do pull back, no big deal as long as we don't break this low. We come back here and tighten up probably into Wednesday, and then we'll see which way it goes. And so very key support for me is this low. And let's see if we can break this high. Whichever way it breaks from this high and this low is the break of that tiny range. And then if you see the percent, if we break here and you can see increasing bear volume, then that's likely a more real move. Same thing idea. If we break here above and we see increasing bull volume, that's a good sign for either side. That means there's more follow through. We get that volume. All right, let's take a look at Meta and the rest of the 7 mega cap techs to see if it give us more clues which way the Qs are going to go. Because if we know which way these guys are going to go, it'll likely dictate the direction of the Qs. And the Qs will likely, if Q breaks out, SPY is going to go to all-time highs for sure. 100%. But I just right under all-time highs at the moment. So Q is very key for me because 30% of XLK, which is the Qs, is SPY. So XLK is 30% or 32, I forgot, but something like that. A lot of tech in SPY. And let's take a look. So Meta here is pretty much just under all-time highs. No signs of red flags. I was talking about this pullback where it was a lot shallower than the Qs, right? Qs came all the way back down, but Meta didn't. So definitely lead bull here, and we continue. We just need, the only resistance I'm looking at is right here, all-time highs. We break this 542, which we're sitting right under. You can see this range here. So it's kind of like a sideways range, right? The highs and highs are the same. The lows and the lows here are the same. So that's a sideways range, and we're just under it, the lows. So we break above that, which is currently sitting right at 526. If we break that, I'm looking at 540s. And then if we break 540s, blue sky breakout, then you don't look short. You just let the bulls play it, do this thing, because there's no resistance above us. No volume, no resistance. Nobody ever bought it up here. There's nobody going to beg holding. Nobody's going to be selling other than people that's taking profit. So that's it. And so that's why there won't be a lot of resistance at all-time highs. So Meta, lead bull. Let's look at Tesla. Tesla here, slow grind right after we broke out of this tiny range bull. For bull back test, I think I talked about this last week. So if we back test and we bounce from there, then that's going to be okay for the bulls. But if we start back test and then we flush through here, that's going to be a huge red flag. So it looks like the back test of it. Right, you see this resistance broke out, back test, bounce. It's a good sign. So now pretty much we just need to break this high, right? This breakout highs right at this 234 zone. See resistance, same thing, resistance right there. Rejected twice, and now we're just right under it. You can see a lot of volume here as well from that resistance. It's going to be pretty key. They can break above that. That 234 is pretty much the low of this structure as well. And for the bears, come back down. Same thing, retest. See if you guys can even break this line. This is the support of the EQ. Right, support, support, support. So if we come back down here, you will likely act as support again. That's not what I wanted to click. Amazon. Okay, finally breaking out of the sideways range. Back test twice, right? This is the original structure. Chopped around, broke out. Back test held the support, right? Prior resistance. Now I can support again. Back test again. Second time held this support again. Bounce finally broke out of this original high. Now that's a breakout. So first structure, breakout, form another second structure, breakout, and now we're looking back up to see if it can. One sec. If it can break above this structure, pretty much. Right, you guys can see all these volumes here. So these are volume bars. So we're just right under this high structure's high, which is also this structure's high. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Close to this 188 zone right here, right? Multiple resistance, back test. Finally broke above, and this is kind of like a fake out, like a bull trap. And then came all the way below here, and now we're coming back up to finally back test it again. So this level is super key. If we can break above this 190, you can see there's not a lot of volume here, right? If we can break above this 188 zone, 190 zone, we're coming up. We should be able to get to 193 a lot easier. And for bull bears, you want to break back below the structure, right? Chopping around the structure for so long, you want this to be a fake breakout, bull trap, and come back below into the structure as soon as you guys can for bears. So break below this 180. But no signs of that at this moment. And lead bear for Google. You can see it's nobody made a new low except Google. This was that low where all the whole market marked. Everyone else marked this was their low. It bounced, and only Google made a new low. So it's a lead bear, but it's picking back up a little bit in the last couple of days and helping it the market. So yeah, 7.7, 7.5%. So now we're coming back down up to this structure where it broke down from, right? So the low of the structure now is going to act as resistance, which it did, but I don't think it's going to act as resistance here. It will probably likely come back up to retest that, potentially for maybe some kind of inverse head and shoulders, right? Left shoulder, head, if we get a big enough bounce, and then we can talk about that right shoulder if we do get that big enough bounce coming up to closer to this 164, and then maybe we'll break above. Then if this happens, that means the market likely broke out bull side as well on that equilibrium. And for bears, reject from here, so this low of the structure, come down, and then try to test this structure again, this low 147. Yeah. All right, let's look at Microsoft. Microsoft's looking decent as well. You can see how this low, nobody broke this low, right? And Google did. So let's see how, look how far above this low everyone else is. While Google is just back testing its low as a resistance. That's why it's relative weakness, but it's starting to pick up a little bit. So we'll see. And Microsoft definitely broke bull from here after this back test. So this was the structure of the bounce. Once we bounce from here, you see how we chop sideways here for 5 days. Finally broke out from here. Now this is the back test. Back test held. And next thing you know, we got 4 bull days. So back test is very important. Sometimes once we broke out from there, it's a good setup. Back test, and you just add here, and then set your stop below, and then let it play out. Currently, no signs of stopping yet, other than just hitting this 432 resistance. You can see very clear resistance right here, and resistance that broke out from here. And then when we're above it, price acted as support. So now we're just coming up to it. It's acting as current resistance. Doesn't mean we're going to reject from it because we barely did for now. Really depends on the overall market. Because if you zoom in, right, I would not count this as a rejection, right? Just a tiny pullback and then going sideways. If we start confirming hourly downtrends and 15-minute downtrends, then I'll be like, yeah, very clear rejection here. For now, no sense of that. This could just be continuation, right? Big move up, consolidate, big move up, consolidate, big move up, consolidate, big move up. So for now, bulls are in control here. And Apple, let's see here, 13 minutes. So Apple here, no signs of red flag either. I talked about this one for a while. It's just trading all-time highs. So this will be the last thing I would be shorting, because when market tanked, you can see Apple barely even dropped, right? And we're pretty much just tightening up as well here. Clear tightening range. Up, big move down, big move up, small move down, barely even dropped. And you can see it's almost like every dip is getting bought here. All these lower wicks drop, bought, drop, bought, drop, bought, drop, bought, drop, bought. But the thing is that it's not that strong as of lately. It kind of makes sense. I think some money is rotating from here to Google and Microsoft because of how high Apple is. So you can see, even though we had such strong green days in the last couple of days, right? Apple barely moved, right? So currently, I would say it's relatively weaker overall, but the longer term time frame, its structure is still very bullish, right? But just currently, the last couple of days is a lot weaker than the Qs and the rest of the mega cap decks, based on the relative weakness and relative strength. Currently, relatively weaker. But as long as Apple does not act as a burden, so as long as it's just going sideways, no problem. If the rest of the mega cap sevens are going up, then market will go up. So that's good. And very clear support, right? 1217 right here. Bounce from here, bounce from here. Bears would just break that. If you break that, I'm looking down to closer to 206. If we break bull, we're probably looking up closer to this 226. And if we break that, I'm looking up at 233. And Nvidia, likely most key for me. This thing moves like 10% a day sometimes. And it just moves the whole market, just like it did on Wednesday. I think it went up like 8% or 9%. And we're still in this tiny range where I have been looking at for months. Big move up, big move down, big move up, big move down, big move up. And it gets tighter and tighter. So we'll have to wait to see if it keeps on tightening up or it's going to break bull after that Wednesday's FOMC meeting, or it wants to break bear out of here. Whichever way this guy breaks is going to move the whole semiconductor sector. That will really move the Qs overall. So yeah, so very clear. It's a resistance right here at 124. Right, if we come up Monday, Tuesday here, this 124, this black line resistance. You can see rejection, rejection, rejection here like 6 times. And come up, it'll be the low of this structure as well, coinciding with that downward resistance line. And very clear support, support, support. So that's the bigger picture for me for Nvidia. And let's see which way it wants to break soon. We got a back test here again, and then just get a shallow pullback and a bull flag. That would be the best case scenario for bulls. For bears, you want to see it hit here, rejection, and drop like a rock, kind of like this. That'll be the best case for you guys. Kind of like grinds up, Monday and Tuesday, hits the wall, and FOMC meeting happens, and boom, drops like a rock or something like that. And then we'll see which way if we can hold this support or not. That's the best case for bears. Basically, for bulls, get a bull flag here and head higher. All right, let's go for you guys. I will do the commodities update tomorrow. And if you guys want to check out the YouTube channel as well, there is more links there as well. Patreon links if you guys are new to trading. You want to learn more about it, going from ground zero or scratch, or if you're even an advanced trader, check out the Patreon link. And I will see you guys tomorrow for commodities update. Have a great rest of you guys this weekend.